On today's show,
we've reached the quarter mark of the season, so it's time for the starters' Q1 quarterly report.
Which teams are undervalued? Who's become a blue chipper? And which teams need to diversify?
And who knew that wolves could fly in our top 10 plays of the week?
It's Friday, December 2nd. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to the starters. Whether you're joining us live right now on NBA TV or a little bit later on YouTube, doesn't matter to us. We're happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Millis.
What's NBA today?
To his right, it's the international man of mystery, taking it to the stash still, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily, and last, certainly not least, over there, it's the bearded one. It's the big guy in the middle, Trey Kirby.
Hey yo!
TK, what do you got?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters. And guys, the Washington Wizards didn't play last night, so they used the evening for some team bonding. They went to go see Office Christmas Party together. And even though the movie's not out yet, those go to some lucky guys. But my favorite thing about this is the resulting picture, which might be the coziest picture in NBA history. 16 guys going out to a movie, 15 of whom are wearing full sweatsuits, sweatshirts, and sweatpants. Let's take a look at a couple of the best looks, like Trey Burke wearing an all-teal look like my grandma used to. But my favorite look is John Wall wearing maroon, all the way zipped up, hood on, glasses on, doesn't want anybody to know he's a Jennifer Aniston fan, I guess. But the question for today is, what do these cozy Wizards look like? And to me, they look like a classic Old Navy performance fleece ad. $5 fleeces? Wow, what a deal! But we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter, what do these cozy Wizards look like? Send us your best tweets to #TheStarters, and we'll hear from you later.
Get your tweets in. All right, it's an action-packed Friday here. We got worst of the week, we got our top 10 plays, and Joe Borgia himself is going to help us with a ruling on a particular wedgie, maybe not a wedgie that we had last night. We'll talk to him later.
It's official.
Yeah, but this week, we reached about the quarter mark of the NBA season, with most teams having played about 20 games, which means it's the perfect time for us to, break down the NBA market, give some analysis in the starters Q1 quarterly report. Trey, I hear you have an NBA portfolio and you need some advice from us.
That's exactly right, Skeets. And when people ask about my NBA portfolio, I tell them it's strong to quite strong, but I know there's some Benjamins to be made out there if you strike while the iron's hot. What undervalued team stock should I pick up before it skyrockets?
You got to pick up the Detroit Pistons, Trey. The iconic teams in the Eastern Conference, like the Chicago Bulls, Boston Celtics, they're getting all the headlines. All the fancy schmancy experts are saying to pick up their stock. But I think the Detroit Pistons are strong, and they've performed as well as they could have the first 20 games of the season. They're 10-10 without Reggie Jackson. Right. Simply their best scorer. Andre Drummond, you call him your best player. Reggie Jackson is their closer, and it's phenomenal that Ish Smith has been able to just sort of tread water. This team is 18th in offense. They're only going to get so much better when Reggie Jackson returns. And Andre Drummond, he's become a better player, sort of, again, under the radar a little bit. He's become usable in fourth quarters because he's improved his free throw percentage from 35 to 47%. That's doable at the end of games. This team is strong, and if you remember their performance last year in the playoffs against the Cleveland Cavaliers, 4 games, it was real quick, but they woke up the Cavs because they fought for everything that they could. And yes, they may not be a top 3 or 4 seed, but I think we kind of look at them as a bubble team. They're going to be a lock, and they're going to be a 4 or 5 seed potential at this point of the season.
You agree with that?
Yeah, they can't afford any more injuries or any of these other guys to sit out because they've treaded water well without Reggie Jackson. But let's just say they miss someone else, then they're going to struggle. But at full strength, this is Stan Van Gundy's team. We know we've talked about that. He's got all these guys in, whether it's through free agency or trades. Now he's got that squad together. He's got everyone nearly healthy. Let's see what they can do.
I think that's a good pick in the East. But Trey, if you want to head west, I would suggest you invest in the Utah Jazz. Despite the horrible loss to the Heat last night at home, in somewhat of a controversial ending there with the shot clock and Hayward getting off the shot and Gobert and all that. They're 11-9, and they're the real deal. I really truly believe that when they have all their pieces going, when Hayward's in there, when George Hill's in there, and Gobert and Favors hasn't even played a whole lot, this is a solid team because they have an identity, right? They play a slow pace. They're a good defensive team, 7th overall in the NBA. I think that's even still going to get better. They own the defensive glass. They protect the rim with Gobert back there. And Schumann points out, and this is a big reason why, Trey, you got to invest in them now. They have a heavy home schedule in December. 10 of their next 14 are in Salt Lake City, where you just were. You were just out there. So, I mean, that's going to only help their record. And I really think they're going to be knocking on that 50-win mark, which a lot of us thought they would be heading into the season. But at 11-9, they've almost sort of, because of injuries, underperformed a little bit. They're only going to get better.
No, those injuries have hurt them a ton. And George Hill not there. When George Hill's not around for that team, they really struggle.
Yeah.
It was a great pickup for them, but they haven't had him for much of the year. Great home team. Pistons are also great home. They're 7-2.
We're just making you money, man. We're making you money.
Just do it.
Hey,
What's the
I
next
appreciate that because I'm not made of money. I don't want to make any long-term mistakes that are going to leave my family in a bind. What team that seems like a sound investment now will prove to be overvalued in the future?
I think the Chicago Bulls are a little bit questionable. Same questions we asked at the beginning of the season.
And they proved us wrong.
Yeah, well, they're 10-7. I feel like if you just read the headlines on your stockchase.com, on your reformedbroker.com, you would see that, you would think the Chicago Bulls were, what, I don't know, like a 12-2 team. They're just so, they're talked about so much because they have so much star power.
Right.
But they haven't really exceeded expectations all that much at 10-7. Jimmy Butler, he's having a career year. Will he keep it up? Rajon Rondo is playing well, and there hasn't been any sort of controversy with Fred Hoiberg. Will that keep up?
Right.
Because that hasn't been the case the last couple of years. Will this team continue to gel? And at 10-7 again, it feels like they're so much better, but it's just a fine record at this point.
You look at the schedule with this team, and they've had the easiest schedule in the league. And look, you got to play who you put in front of you. I get that, but their wins are against the Sixers without Embiid, the Lakers, the Wizards, the Heat, the Nets, and the Magic. All of those teams. Maybe the Lakers are obviously on the bubble there in the West, but they may not. None of those teams may be playoff teams.
Yeah, you still got to
They've had
cash
an
in
easy
though.
schedule.
You still got to cash in those wins now.
Yeah, well, this is why we're saying though they might be a little overvalued when the schedule gets a little more difficult and they play some tougher opponents.
Yeah, and they're going to lose tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Trey, next question.
Guys, I need some new leads. I need some good leads. I want the Glenn Davis leads. We're talking blue chippers here. Which NBA player who has made the jump to superstar status this year should I invest in?
It's a bull market right now on Yanni. Get on him.
It's a bull market, then go with Jimmy Butler.
No. Nice one.
Yeah.
But no, this is a strong European fund.
Buck that
You've got
ball.
to invest your money elsewhere. You've got to diversify, go overseas. Yanni has shown that he really is ready to take that step to that elite level. He can do it at both ends of the floor. Offensively, we know the shot is he's still working on that, but he's still effective because he knows how to score and he can get to the rim maybe as good as anyone else in the league because he's only ever 2 steps away from a layup and he's got that incredible Euro step. And on the defensive end, he's getting 2 steals and 2 blocks a game. So his impact right now is just enormous, and the Bucks are feeling it everywhere, and they're starting to play better. They're a lock for the playoffs. I'm going to say that right now. And, I'm not saying they will finish top 4, but they're going to finish in the playoffs, and they're going to be such a nightmare matchup for everybody. Because what is Yanni? A point guard, point forward, center? I don't know.
I saw a great tweet from Alex Boder, who is a Bucks writer from MilwaukeeBucks.com. He says, Yanni has more points than Carmelo, more rebounds than Blake, more assists than Mike Conley, more steals than Kawhi Leonard, and more blocks than Serge Ibaka. He turns 22 next week. That's...
I'm sold.
I mean, he really is... If he's not there yet, he is knocking on the door of an elite superstar-like player. And I don't. We never want to go overboard with these guys because we do. We did it with Anthony Davis in the past. We've done it with Karl Anthony Towns in the past. But he screams superstar.
And he can get to the rim at will. And players know, obviously, his weakness is his three-point shot. But if he's able to get to the rim at will, he leads the league in most field goals within 3 feet, which is phenomenal when you think about it. More than Bron, more than DeAndre Jordan, more than Russ, more than everybody. So he can continue to get there. You want security in your portfolio, pick an NBA player that can get to the rim at will. And yeah, maybe he adds a three-point shot down the line.
It's coming along. It's not the worst shot we've ever seen.
No, it's not the worst. He shoots, it's only 20% right now. But you want a little international representation in your portfolio. Apparently, Dirk Nowitzki's personal shooting coach, I should say, Holger Guschwinder, has asked Giannis Antetokounmpo, come on over. I'll teach you how to shoot. So maybe that works out this offseason. Again,
if
he's that
Giannis
young.
starts shooting like Dirk Nowitzki, it's over. It's
well, that probably
over.
won't happen.
You'll be rich if that happens. All right, final one, Trey.
I was speaking with my advisors over at Wu-Tang Financial, and they told me to diversify my bonds. Seems like good advice for anyone. Which team needs to diversify their portfolio and make a trade to address some sort of weakness?
The Boston Celtics, they need a rebounding center. Teams just play bully ball against them. They are the worst defensive rebounding team in the league. When you've got Al Horford and Amir Johnson playing beside each other, it's not a recipe for success on the defensive glass. Al Horford and Paul Millsap in Atlanta was not a recipe for defensive success on the glass. And Amir Johnson's just undersized, just the way Paul Millsap was. Al Horford is a power forward. He needs a big, bad center to play beside him. They're second in points on second possessions allowed against them. They just need somebody big and grabbing boards. And the Atlanta Hawks, you see them with Dwight Howard there. His teammates are happy. He's just grabbing boards. And that's, Al Horford left that situation. It wasn't a good rebounding situation then. Celtics aren't now.
Good luck with your portfolio, Trey.
I very much appreciate it. I don't know anything about money. I spend it all on clothes.
Hey, well, you got the best shoe game in the world.
You diversified that look. That kimono used to be closed. Now it's open.
Lots more still to come, including our top 10 plays and Tass's worst of the week. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the show. Now's the point of the week where we hand out the dishonor to someone in the NBA family that has done wrong in the eyes of the starters. It's time for the worst of the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the worst of the week.
This week's worst of the week is Boston media personality Michael Felger. The Celtics' Al Horford and his wife Amelia gave birth to a baby daughter on Sunday. Congratulations. Aww. Because of that, Al missed Monday's game in Miami. The Celtics didn't seem to have a problem with it, but Michael Felger did. This is Felger on CSN-NE, the Celtics' flagship TV station.
Al Horford, your $30 million man, however much you pay him a year, sat out tonight because he had a birth of his kid. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday, yes.
Yesterday. He had the birth of his kid in Atlanta. The game was in Miami.
Nothing wrong with that.
I know when you make $30 million a year, it ain't much to get a private jet. Wick would probably pick it up. To fly down at 3 o'clock from Atlanta, it's a 90-minute flight to Miami, play the game, and come right back. I'm sure his wife is in the hospital, surrounded by nurses, mothers, aunts, relatives.
Say it, Felger. Spit it out.
I would have gone to the game. I would have played the game. And I like my guys to sort of forsake everything for the team.
Get a grip, man. Forsaking everything to play a game? I hope your family didn't forsake you after that rant. You don't have to have kids to know that what he said was wrong. I mean, it's feeble, out of touch, insensitive, but in the end, it's just plain wrong. That all being said, Felger did try and walk it back a few seconds later.
If there were complications, then okay, take that all off the table. If the mother or the child or something happened where there were complications, then I totally understand that. But if it's just a generic childbirth,
Felger, it's a November basketball game against one of the.
A generic childbirth.
What?
Okay, I think we're done here. Michael Felger, your worst of the week.
Lee, were you a generic childbirth?
I may have been, I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Just popped up.
Generic childbirth.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one, though. I am curious. Did you consider, after Thursday night, the late game, of course, in double overtime, did you consider going with Sir Kicks-a-Lot in Draymond Green? Because
it wasn't as
kicky.
It wasn't as kicky as his other kicks.
What are you talking about?
Because he hit him on the downswing. If you get it from this angle here, it's not like he got him there. He got it right there, and James Harden, he got him in the face. No doubt.
He got issued.
It's a mistake.
Flag and foul.
It's wrong.
And in the end, it really hurt the team because they were down 3. He got fouled. He was going to the line. He split them, but then the Rockets got 2 shots and the ball. Ended up being a 4-point swing, and then it was over.
I appreciate how the refs made it a point of emphasis this year.
Yeah.
And they made the call.
They've made it perfectly clear you can't go flailing your leg. Why is he flailing his legs? What's he trying to do?
Well, we've seen him do that so much.
What's he
in the
trying
past.
to do, though?
I'm just saying that may be part of his reaction of how he competes and contests.
I'll tell you what he's trying to do. He's either one, flailing to sell contact.
Maybe.
Or he's trying to create space. That's what he's doing. It's not just random now.
I know
he's just kicking guys?
I know he's very flexible, though. I'd love to have that flexibility.
I think they got it right. When we come back, count down the top 10 plays of the week. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the show. We had a controversial play Thursday night. No, not Draymond Green's kicks. We're done with that. We couldn't decide whether this was a wedgie. Goran Dragic lets it go just after the buzzer.
Whoa.
The long-standing definition is if it's let go after the buzzer, it's not in play and it's not a field goal attempt, it's not a wedgie, but we couldn't decide.
He was shooting it.
Yeah.
Right, it was his natural shooting motion.
This
But
pains me.
the only man who can make this call is the man who makes the calls in Secaucus, New Jersey, in the NBA Replay Center, Joe Borgia. We're lucky enough to have the NBA Senior Vice President of Replay and Referee Operations. Joe, let's get down to it. What's the ruling? Was that a wedgie?
Well, first of all, the NBA's language is not wedgie. What? Okay?
What?
We use the ball getting lodged between the rim and the backboard. So
A lodgy.
I like wedgie, but unfortunately that's not in our rule book. But after reviewing the play, the replay center rules no wedgie. The shot was late, therefore it's not a legal field goal attempt.
Oh, man.
Now, is this something the league is keeping track of? Our
Absolutely
wedgies?
not.
Absolutely. That's quite unfortunate. So we're not going to see this on a future episode of Making the Call.
You will not see this on a future call. No.
We're trying to get to 50 wedgies though, Joe. We need every single wedgie we can, but you are saying if it comes after the buzzer is sounded and after that light goes on the backboard, it doesn't count.
Well, since you can't count the field goal, it wouldn't be a legal shot, and we did not have a jump ball. So in the future, if we jump it up, it's an official wedgie.
All right.
Good
All
to
right.
know, anyway.
Gotta stay honest.
Yeah.
Hey, and it's good to know our long-standing definition is still standing. I mean, that's the rules we have been going
Yep.
by. Thank you so much for joining us, Joe. We will see you on future episodes of Making the Call all over NBA social media channels, including on YouTube.
Thanks a lot, Joe. All right, let's get into the top 10 plays of the week. We had some unbelievable dimes, dunks. We had a bit of everything in this one. We'll start at number 10, and it is a dime. Marc Gasol throws it over his head, two-handed, to Troy Williams, who slams it home. I mean, this is on the money.
Man.
Like, in stride, one bounce.
Bounce pass as well.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very solid almost.
Very solid.
At number 9, Montrezl Harrell. Thursday night NBA's on TNT all over James Michael McAdoo. That's a biggie. Montrezl Harrell a little bit earlier left one short. He wasn't leaving that one short.
Huge. At number 8, we'll stick with the posters here. John Wall is going to put Cantor on one. That's left hand.
That's a point guard left hand in the paint.
That's how he does it. All of his best dunks, lefty.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you go check the high school mixtapes, and he dunks a lot of the time with his left hand.
Get some blocks with that lefty, too. At number 7, Ramon Sessions with a jam.
What?
Are we sure that's not Robert Pack?
The subway track opens up in NYC, goes borough to borough.
That's huge.
Big dunk.
That's massive.
Wrong.
From Sessions. At number 6, Blue 52, Blue 52. Hut, Love, 25-yard touchdown pass to LeBron James.
1 second came off the shot clock on this play. That's an efficient way of running your offense.
Yeah, you should do this every single time.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 second or less. It's the new offense in the NBA. It's coming. At number 5, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson drops Malcolm Brogdon with that shake. And then he gets in a beautiful
Nice.
like.
Yeah.
You gotta
Drops
finish.
one guy, goes around three
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
See ya.
If you don't
1,
finish, we don't count.
2, 3.
Oh, man. At number 4, another unbelievable assist. This one from Nicholas Batum with the nutmeg on Powell. Zeller with the dunk. The nutmeg, of course, meaning he's going through the wickets.
Yeah, a bit different the last time when we saw Nick Batum go below the belt.
Oh.
Nice one.
At number 3, 2 blocks from Kristaps. A lefty. Getting the lefty, Shabazz Muhammad.
This thing goes straight down. Watch this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, beauty. Now the righty to Cody Zeller. Oh, looks like
yeah.
he hammers Cody, but it's a clean block from this angle. The referees did get it correct.
Oh, that's all ball. Perfectly timed. At number 2, Andrew Wiggins drops the hammer
Oh my goodness.
on JaVale McGee. He sort of goes around him, over him. He just hangs up in the air a lot longer
Yeah.
than JaVale McGee. The Maple Moxie Tessie.
Yes, it's so fun to say. Not fun to hear, but fun to say. Zach LaVine, the monstrous dunk. We debated which one is better, Zach or Andrew Wiggins. It's really, really hard to
Yeah,
tell.
this settles it, though. This is
Yeah.
number 1.
Yeah,
That's
this is
it.
better. This is
Len
better.
looks up at the hoop as if, did he really put that on me?
Yeah. And that may have been Zach LaVine's first in-game poster on
Wow.
somebody. He's had some unbelievable dunks, but on somebody, very rare. All right, gotta take a break. When we come back, Lele's very solid play.
On NBA TV's High Tops, it's all in the name. The best dimes, dunks, finishes, the best of the best. High Tops, don't miss it.
Watch High Tops, Saturday at noon Eastern on NBA TV.
Bones. I'm definitely watching that tomorrow, Saturday at noon on the network. We asked you earlier in the show, what do the cozy wizards look like? And you have chimed in there on Twitter, #stars. Trey, you have a few of the best answers.
Yeah, Roman says, those cozy wizards look like my mom making the family take a picture in the snow. People were not too happy to be taking that picture. Papa says, looks like they're about to shoot a music video with Run DMC. My favorite answer comes from James, who says, Johnny and the Sweats. John Wall.
Got it.
Yeah,
No, got it.
Benny.
They're all wearing sweats.
Absolutely got it.
Jets.
Absolutely got
Benny
it.
and the Jets.
All right, to tonight's pick'em play, it is the Wolves and Knicks again. Lee, you've come over to the Knicks side of things. Of course, they just played recently, and that ended our November pick'em. But Tass and Trey have the Wolves. Lee and I go with the Knicks at home, where they've been solid. And speaking of solid, Lee, VSP, who gets it?
We're going to Oakland, where the Warriors just keep churning out the VSPs. Here it is again, another nice, beautiful one here. Beautiful teamwork, fizzes around, ends with Iggy in the corner for a
Switch ball.
Oh yes, it is. Here it is again. It's a netball play too. Notice there's no dribbling. Ball just zipping and fizzing and finishing with Iggy. That's his spot. That's what I call a very solid play.
Very solid play and a very solid stash. A stash so solid that it did raise over $10,000 for Men's Health. Lee, you're a champ. Everyone that donated, thank you so much. But now it's time to sadly say goodbye to this sweet stash.
Oh. You were such a young buck.
A retrospective. Oh, that's too weird. It's so sad.
Yeah, I had doubts at first going with this Merv look, but once it grew in, it looked awesome.
I'm going to miss doing my facial expressions the most. I really love it.
Are you going to miss the stash is the question.
Yeah, it's become like an old close friend, you know? I guess I can visit him again in the off season.
Okay, well let's oh wow, we got a lot of stash watch. I mean,
You've got more shirts than I thought you did.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
let's take it off, buddy.
Oh, man.
It's time.
Let's do it.
All right.
Here we go.
Goodbye, old friend.
Oh. Say goodbye and farewell,
my old friend.
I forget the second verse.
You have finally reached the mustache end.
There you go.
I might have a little fun with it.
Take it
Oh,
off.
you're turning into Ned Flanders, slowly but surely.
Yeah, give us a Ned Flanders. Guys, we'll see you on Monday.
Thank you so much for joining us one more time. So goodbye and farewell, my old friend.
We have
Finally reached the stashes